And today we're gonna keep it completely real with you guys.
We're gonna actually talk about something that not a lot of companies talk about, and that is pricing. Welcome back, Pack. Adil and Anna from WolfSteel Buildings here.
And today we're gonna keep it completely real with you guys.
Well, we normally keep it real, but we're gonna actually talk about something that maybe not a lot of companies talk about, and that is pricing.
Correct. So one of the biggest things when people are shopping around, which rightfully so, you guys look at pricing, and that's completely fine. You start comparing pricing, seeing what company has to offer what, at what price, and what company has to offer, another thing at another price.
Exactly, and as long as you don't jeopardize, the integrity and the strength of your building. That is actually what happened to our client Greg for this video, the pricing for this building. Our client Greg, he actually did a lot of due diligence,
which you should.
Really good. He should. He got a lot of bids. So we knew we were, trying to make it happen for him.
But ultimately, Greg decided to go with us, and he did that because Greg had a very unlevel ground. His site was very unlevel, and we were able to work a solution with him to make sure that he got a good price to really help him figure out what we had going on there.
Yeah, so let me tell you a little bit of the story, or let me tell you guys a little bit of the story. So when we are pricing buildings, or at least the foundation, we have to go to the job site, really scope out, what are we getting into? And he really had about 2 to 3 feet of off levelness, and then the property behind where the building is, it's like a hill, so all that water is just draining through where the building is at. The number one solution is you just raise the foundation, and it's in dripping springs, so you got rocky ground and unlevelness, and that's not a very good combo.
Not a good sign at all. And also because we had to bring in so much, originally I had to say to get that up, that dirt in that base, it's not cheap. Dirt is not dirt cheap. As much as we say that, I don't know who made that, because that's not very popular anymore.
It was a lot of yardage of dirt base that needed to be brought in, compacted very well. So that was going to be just a lot of work for the site prep. So we actually decided to go a different route, and we just cut through, build a stem wall around the building, really modified even the building, the columns and everything to make it accommodate, and the stem wall really to protect the water from coming in from behind, as well as we worked around to make sure that the water was flowing the right way around the building. So overall, it turned out a success. And Greg, if you're watching this video, thank you again for believing in us and for trusting us.
And we're gonna come back because Greg actually has some really cool phases that he's done. So if you see the tour, I think he put epoxy, like an epoxy sealant on top of the concrete, which looks so cool. And he's done a lot of other little things. So we're probably gonna have to go back and see what his video looks like from this tour number 1, which you guys can check it out on our channel, and then kind of stay tuned for tour number 2 whenever he has everything finished.
He's got some cool lighting as well. So you guys can check out the picture, show it.
But ultimately, the stem wall was kind of the star of the show that we did there to make sure that he didn't have to incur the additional cost on the dirt. But if we weren't to have to do the stem wall, which that is something custom, if you find yourself in a similar solution, and usually we'll know when we go see your ground, if it's really unlevel, we'll give you different options, and that'll be a custom price that you won't get. But if you were to just get 40 by 60 red iron weld up, what is the cost for a concrete like that right now?
Yeah, that's about 2,400 square feet. The price right for that specific building, again, 2,400 square feet for a 40 by 60 is not the same price for, say, less of a width. And for this price for this building is $30,360. And that includes the right footings for this specific building, interior beams, and all the rebar work that we do, traditional rebar, and vapor barrier preparation of the footings, And also our notch work. So that is something that we're really proud of is our notch work, because that one of the biggest problems that I continue to see, and it still happens. I go to the groups on Facebook. And it's like, oh, I got water seeping in. I got water seeping in through my underside of my building. I got water seeping in through my doors, under my doors. And that's because the concrete was not built for your metal building right. I don't want you guys to go through that, and for that reason, we really love how we control the start to finish of this project.
I'll make sure that the project goes really smooth.
Because the building is the first thing that you look for, but the concrete is really fundamental for this whole project.
We always laugh here in the office because we always say, you guys see the building and the building's pretty and the colors and you pick all that, but the concrete is just a rock. And that's how we say it in the office. Everyone sees it as just the rock, but they don't realize the importance of a solid foundation, right? So when we kind of look at those kind of things, it's so important because a lot of the times, contractors, they do a great job, but sometimes they don't see what you're building, right? So when you don't know what is going on top of what you're building, it's very simple to just go out, build strong concrete, but if it's not, doesn't have those notches, doesn't have the doors in the correct placement, all of that causes a lot of issues down the line. And at first it might look good, but we have a rainstorm and we get a call and hey, there's water seepage coming under, and it's always easier to kind of take care of it beforehand rather than go in and do some damage control.
Yeah, that's one big part of it. Another thing is, depending the size of the building, the height of the building, engineers require a certain depth of a footing. And I've noticed that a lot of contractors, just standard is a 12-inch footing, right? But in reality, it depends on the building too. Those are big factors that really the foundation has to be built for the building. And a lot of times when we get those calls that, oh, we've already poured our concrete's already done. Like, okay.
Did they do this?
Yeah, well, a light frame construction, like a tubular building, the footings are not the same as a rigid frame construction, which is like a red iron with I-beams. The footing work, the slab work is not the same. There are different foundations that are needed, and even post frame in a way, but we don't deal with that one. But that tells a lot that here in Texas, we actually have phenomenal concrete contractors out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great ones. It's the only thing that I feel that is a challenge is that there's not a lot of communication between who's building the building and who's building the concrete to build it right, to build it for the building, not just to build a slab or just a general standard practice of building a foundation.
And it goes with concrete and building though. Sometimes we always like to say, let us know when you get a cheaper price, why is it cheaper? What is it that they're doing different? And sometimes, with concrete, because it's just a rock that you guys are seeing, sometimes that's why we say, hey, the footers are the notches, does that vapor barrier long term also has a lot of effects with protecting from weed or anything that usually cracks your concrete. Those pesky little cracks that you see usually with like a little grass coming up and stuff like that on your sidewalks, all of that can be avoided with vapor barrier and stuff like that. So, we don't just look out for right now when you get it up and make sure there's no cracking. It's also long-term, the foundation that you're getting.
Exactly. We might be, if you watch the video, I talk about similar stuff about how important it is to educate yourself. And I stress on it because we are seeing a lot of challenges. I go on these Facebook groups, a lot of clients asking for solutions to the problems that they already have. Right now we have one of our clients where it's going through the same solution. It's my slab is not built exactly here. What are we gonna do? And now we're having to solve a problem. It's gonna cost something, but it could have been prevented with a lot more planning. I do always say you measure twice, you cut once. It's really something that we should take very serious, the planning phase in construction.
Yeah.
But let's get straight to business.
So now for the star of the show, which is this 40 by 60 weld up. Do you want to tell them a little bit about what all this building has?
Yeah, so this building has 2 roll-up doors, 12 by 12s, chain hoisted commercial doors in the front, and then it's got a steel service door in the middle. And then the galvalume roof, Quaker grade for gutters and for the gutters and downspouts. Beautiful fiberglass work for the insulation, the blanket insulation. Beautiful work there.
It is 14 foot tall though. That's why how he got to fit those really tall doors in there, because it is 14 foot tall.
It is really tall. It's 14 foot tall to the eaves, 312 pitch, all a weld up building, Ibeam construction.
It has a lot of cool features, but what does that cost you right now in the Dallas-Fort? Well, in the Austin area right now?
Well, the price right now is $80,723, and that is for all those features. Again, that includes insulation already. That is construction and labor of the metal building.
So Greg is actually a huge car enthusiast, and we've already gotten a lot of cool pictures, which we're gonna have some up there, and you probably also saw it on the thumbnail. He's gotten some really cool epoxy floors already in there, his lighting, which you can see on the tour and we've already previously mentioned, and he has some really cool stuff in there, so we need to go back to see what he's got going on in that project.
Oh, I am. He got some, like, his lighting that he put. So in the video, I show where he already had his materials, and they were going to be installed. So I really want to go back out there and check it out when he's got his lighting, and just kind of hang out there and maybe do another video about it.
So we're definitely gonna have to see tour number 2 to see what he's done and what work he's done, because all those kind of things can give other people ideas, especially you guys, if you're a car enthusiast yourself, what you can do, and kind of maybe even ask him, and ask down below, and we can ask him how he did it.
Perfect. And so other than that, guys, I hope that this video helped you guys. I hope that it gives you really good ideas. Don't forget to subscribe. We got a ton of videos. We're going to be changing a little bit how we do things with more and more projects. And
we'll see you guys in the next video.
See you guys in the next video.